a woman named Elise Gould, who does a great deal of good research and who works for something called the Economic Policy Institute in Washington, D.C. And all of this kind of research is available on their website, epi.org. You can go there and you can find. This is dated October 7th, this month. And here's what she did. She measured what has happened to public school teachers since the crash of 2008 in the United States. Okay. So since 2008, the enrollments of kids in our public schools have gone up. That's despite the fact that we're having a growth of charter schools. You all know what that is. But nonetheless, they're still not a big factor, so that there's still a growth in the enrollment of public school kids. So they have grown over the last 8 years. But the number of employed people in public schools has dropped in America by 214,000. Okay? Okay, so you're talking here about, well, I'm going to do the numbers, 4,000 per state, roughly 4,000 teachers, mostly teachers, but also other personnel in the schools. So you have a society which has gone through a crash, 2008, and which has decided that one of the ways to cope with the crash is to get rid of school teachers and school personnel. 200,000 of them. Okay? So we got more kids in the school and less people to work with them on their education. That's crazy. This country needs now, more than ever, to compete, we're told, in the world of other countries. In the world of the Europeans and of the Chinese and the Japanese and the Brazilians and all the parts of the world are working hard to be economically successful. One of the most important ways you are economically successful is in terms of the number, the quantity, and the quality of the people coming out of your school system in terms of their brain power, their skills, their motivations, all the rest. What kind of a society, suffering from a temporary collapse of capitalism over the last 8 years, would find it in its heart to try to solve the problem of a collapsed capitalism by shooting itself in the foot in terms of the future of its own working class? It's almost as though you're seeing a number that suggests that this isn't the working class for the people who run this society. Why not constrict the education of the young people here? You're not expecting to employ them anyway. You're expecting to employ people in other parts of the world who are cheaper anyway. Why should you spend money training people in this country who you really don't have an interest in? If you actually did think that the future of the United States depends on the quality and the quantity of its labor force, which is what we teach in the university, in economics departments, you couldn't possibly do this. This is stupid. This is self-destructive. This makes no sense. And I'm not even talking about what the impact is on the 200 and X thousand families whose jobs have disappeared, on school systems that have crunched down. And by the way, the numbers bear all this out. The average size of the class is larger than it was 8 years ago in terms of the number of students each teacher is supposed to service, etc. The extracurricular activities are being crunched, on and on and on and on. Very bizarre and dangerous, and makes one ask about what's going on. Okay, the last short one before we